There are many forms of sadness and pain. Sometimes we go through sadness and suffering because we do not meet the societal standard either placed by our parents, family, friends, or the culture we live around. Sometimes we don't meet those standards, and that causes us a feeling of dishonor, a feeling of suffering as a relation to what we feel like we should be at the time and in the culture that we exist. We also respond with negative emotions, and this is because of a limited a number or a degree of understanding. We also respond to the level of our education. Did we finish high school? How far did we get in college? What degree we got in college? What is the relevance of the degrees that our peers have, and what is ours? And do we have one to begin with? Another way where we emotionally judge ourselves and we get caught up in the emotional culture of humanity is, you know, do we have kids by a certain point? Do we have, are we married by a certain point? Have we become the kind of family and existence that is common among our peer group, our culture, our religion, what have you? Have we composed an American dream that we are now dreaming? For most of those who have even achieved this level of cultural contentment, societal contentment, there's always some flaw. There's always something that is lacking. There's always something that is not quite there because we were never meant to fall into that slot, that description. We as individuals were never meant to fall into that form that was given stability and expectation by the society that we live in. It's a very strange circumstance when happiness is judged by the expectations of others, and then one chooses to be happy only if the expectations of one's own group are met, and that happiness otherwise is just a random circumstance or a random occurrence rather than something that we've achieved through the formula that was given to us. Human beings are funny things. We are naturally herd animals. We naturally want to be in groups. But most of the best ideas have not been formed in groups. But when we apply our own minds, our own intelligence, our own wisdom, our own focus to what it means to be a human being, in a place where we are separate from the rest of humanity, where we can truly digest what it is to be human. Higher levels of emotional and spiritual intelligence usually happen in more of a vacuum, though there's no such thing as a vacuum completely, but a separation from cultural and political and individual identity, um, by stepping back from the society which enforces itself upon us and analyzing what society is, but more importantly, what we are and how our own true identity, our own spirit, our own soul, our own purpose, stepping back from everything else and contemplating ourselves. We're the only animal on this planet that can do that. We're the only ones who can, are naturally meant to be with others, but withdraw and learn more about other people and more importantly, ourselves. Whether it be in the United States, whether it be in a different country, I find that most cultures have very similar tactics to make one feel that they need to be a part of them. They make everything else that isn't their way seem evil. Political or religious, doesn't matter. That in order to fit in, you need to have the same idea of why, in what way one should die, what one should sacrifice themselves for. Doesn't have to be like suicide bombers or anything. There's other definitions for this. There's other descriptions of this. And as human beings, what are we working towards that are beyond this world? If a government, culture, or any group controls these things, they control the individual. So we must rely upon ourselves to try and understand the circumstances that we are in, and then work to a greater understanding of ourselves and a greater use of the person that we are, because there's never going to be anybody quite like us. So how can we do the best for everyone? It is always by doing the best for ourselves and learning how to use the best that we are to show the best in others. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. Have all of you have a wonderful day.